I'm continuing my look at how to make progress in bodyweight calisthenics outside of the conventional way, which is to increase reps or weight or volume. After you get a certain amount of experience under your belt and or you reach a certain age, you really just can't expect to be making the same kind of progress that you made when you started, which is, you know, all those things I just said, adding reps, weight, and so forth. So we've been talking a lot about things like improving form as a way to make progress, just continuing to put in honest effort every day as a way to make progress. There's a lot of sort of non-mathematical ways to do this, and the one I want to look at today is how to make the mind-muscle connection. Before I do, though, I'd like to ask you that if you like the video, please hit the like button. If you would like to continue seeing content like this, please subscribe, and absolutely feel free to comment below, and I will definitely read them and reply to them. So here we go. What I really want to do with exploring the mind-muscle connection is to try and get it out of the realm of squishy concepts and into the realm of this is a real thing and here's what I can do. So what I want to do is basically see what I can do in the three movement patterns of push, pull, and squat to increase the mind-muscle connection, or the actual connection with the working muscles, and basically maximizing the amount of stimulation I can get from a set without trying to do more reps or more weight or whatever. And the way I'm doing that actually is to make the movement a little bit easier by taking out some factors that are not directly related to the muscles being stimulated, so that I can really concentrate on the movement and those muscles without having to worry about other things. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a simplified push-up, a simplified pull-up, and a simplified squat, and I'm going to show you what that actually means, what I mean by simplified. This video is based on an article on my blog, and I'm going to link that below, as well as the previous video that I did on other ways to make progress without counting reps, is also an article on my blog, and that will be linked below as well. First up is a modified dip, or an assisted dip. I'm using my NOSC suspension trainers here. You could also use rings, and I want to use those because I like the ability to make them as high as I want to. What I'm going to do here is a dip, but I'm going to keep my feet on the ground. Legs are limp and kind of dangly, but toes are touching the ground. And so what I'm doing is removing a lot of my body weight and all of the other things that you have to do to stabilize your body to do a full body weight dip. Now those things are all good, you know, like keeping your core tight, having your legs in the right position, and so forth. Those are all great components of the exercise, but what I'm trying to do here is take out the additional stress so that I can really just focus on the pushing muscles of chest, triceps, and shoulders. And so that's the goal here. I'm trying to get as much stimulation in those muscles as I can without having to you know, expend effort for other things. When I do this, I also try to keep the tension on, so I don't really lock out or pause. You could keep the tension on by pausing, but I don't lock out or allow myself to get into a kind of a rested place. And definitely slow on the negative. You can go slow on the positive too, but I don't think that's actually completely necessary. And just keep that stimulation. I find when I do this, I can get about probably fewer reps than I can do with actual full body weight dips. So I think it's really working. You really feel it too. So let's give it a shot. Is a assisted pull-up. You can also do a row type of movement, and one of the great things about suspension trainers or rings is you've got like an infinite number of height adjustment possibilities, so you can really get the assistance level up, and you can go from vertical to horizontal in your movements. Again, feet on the ground, legs are limp and dangly, and I'm just trying to take the weight off so that I can really focus on the pulling back and biceps muscles. Okay, the situation with squats for mind muscle connection is quite a bit different than the push and pull exercises I just demoed, for a couple of reasons. First, just specific to me, I'm kind of still recovering from a strained ligament in my left foot, which I'm not exactly sure how I got, but I think it was a combination of too much sprinting and too much wall sitting, kind of combined. Anyway, it was very painful. I did get x-rays and there's nothing broken. I just had to basically rest and wear a stiff shoe. Anyway, it's a lot better now, but I'm still being very careful with any leg work, working my way back. So I'm not going to really go for it with squats like I have for the other two exercises. The other thing about legs is it's very common in the calisthenics community for people to say that you can build a very strong upper body with body weight exercises, but for legs you really have to go into the gym and use weights. And I understand where they're coming from in this, although I believe that's not necessarily true. And there's a couple of notable people whom I respect greatly who would also argue that it's not necessarily true. For example, Anthony Arvanatakis of Bodyweight Muscle, who is mainly doing a combination of sprints and wall sits for leg strength, and Kyle Bogeman of K Boges argues for very high rep bodyweight squats. And both of those guys know a heck of a lot more than I do. Secondly, what I would say from my own perspective is I don't really care. Because I think that argument that you have to use weights is basically coming from the goal of building size. It's certainly about building strength, but strength and size I think are kind of combined goals in a lot of people's minds. Whereas for me, at my age, which is 56, and kind of just where I've gotten to in life, getting bigger is not really a goal. In fact, I don't want to do that. I don't feel like I need to take up more space, particularly in the legs. Big legs, that concept doesn't appeal to me. Strong legs, yes. Big ones, I don't see the point, for me anyway. So I don't really care. But the goal here, and so I'm happy to stay in the body weight realm and lots of reps, but the goal is for this particular video is to talk about mind muscle connection. So what I'm doing with squats is, again, assisting myself so I don't have to get my back, worry about back straightness and ankle mobility and so forth. And I'm really trying to concentrate the effort in the quads. So I'm not locking out at the top. I'm not standing all the way up, so the form police won't be too happy about that, but the point is to keep the tension. And the other thing I'm doing here, in addition to a slow rep, is instead of kind of thinking about bringing my body up, I'm thinking about pushing down with my heels and kind of like imagining pushing the ground away from you, and it really makes a huge difference. So I'm going to give that a shot. So it probably doesn't come through in the videos. Hard to see what I'm trying to do here because you have to feel it. But the point is to really concentrate the effort on the muscles involved in the movement as I recover from that set of squats. And it really seems to make a big difference. If nothing else than to prevent you from lapsing into cheating or getting the reps by some means other than really just working the target muscles. And so for that reason alone, mind-muscle connection I think is totally legitimate and really worth looking into. Please comment below if you have anything that you want to say or ask, and thanks for watching.